Hi everyone, welcome to School of Scarlett. Today I have a little chit chat with you here outside. I just kind of got out of the shower, so excuse me, but today's kind of like my day off, and I was just coming out here to work in the office, and I saw a comment from somebody on YouTube, somebody commenting on my post, and this apparently was a subscriber. Anyhow, so I want to kind of address it, and I think it really goes along with the energy update that I gave. So it was Halloween yesterday, and so yesterday I posted on my community tab kind of like a quote that kind of really resonated with me around Halloween. So let me read it to you, and then I'll let you know what the commenter said. This is about Halloween. It says, "A day when we all get it right. Strangers come to us, beautiful, odd, or ugly, even scary, we accept them all. Without question, we compliment them, treat them kindly, and give them good things. Why don't we live like that?" So comment down below, does that sound like a good quote to y'all, or a good way to look at Halloween? So basically the commenter is pretty upset with that quote and that it has to do with Halloween, and said that they were going to unsubscribe due to it being against their religion. So I wanted to talk about that here today. And so a lot of times we see people getting really upset about the smallest of things. I don't know what kind of religion or what religion this person is, but generally most religions are about accepting others, right? And so what we're seeing here is going to be a kind of a division happening, where there's people that are very fearful, very divided, who will lash out in these ways, right? They'll basically find any little way to, separate themselves or find something to be fearful of. And what I'm trying to do on this channel is to dispel any fears at all, whether you have a fear of a demon, whether you have a fear of Halloween, you have a fear of anything. You have the greatest power within you, which is spirit, right here within your being. There is nothing, absolutely nothing, that is stronger, more powerful than that. So I'm pointing you back at all times back to the ultimate power, the ultimate truth that's already residing within you. But oftentimes people misconstrue that, or think that it's not true, that these demons or a Halloween day is somehow going to be, the worst thing ever that's going to happen to them. And I used to attend a church that, I really did at one time value. I really believed in what they were saying and all kinds of things. But funny things would happen early on in the time that I was at that church. My husband and I got married, and we went on our honeymoon. And we were supposed to go somewhere else, but something happened, and we ended up having to go to Las Vegas because that was the only place we could get a flight to right away that day. And so we went there, and we didn't see it as Sin City. We really did have a great time. We went and saw a car museum, we saw a wax museum, we saw a comedy show, a magic show, we ate wonderful food. There was nothing sinful about it, okay? But because we went to Las Vegas, we were basically shunned from that church for a while. Nobody talked to us. When we posted some pictures, nobody liked them. And then we went out to eat at one of the restaurants that we were actually looking forward to. We wanted to go eat at Hell's Kitchen. Now, if you don't know what Hell's Kitchen is, there's a show on TV called MasterChef, and my husband and I are big fans of this show. Even my daughter loves MasterChef. When she was little, she would really get into cooking, and we would she liked MasterChef Junior. There's different shows all associated to MasterChef. But the main chef is Gordon Ramsay, and so he has a restaurant in Las Vegas, and we were so excited to go eat there. But because we chose to eat at a restaurant that was called Hell's Kitchen, apparently glorifying hell, we were shunned from this church completely. Like I say, nobody wanted to talk to us. They saw us as sinners just because we had a great time on our honeymoon. Now this restaurant was amazing. The food was great. The ambiance was great. The service was great. We loved it. It was actually one of the highlights of our trip. And we didn't see anything evil about this. Everything about it was beautiful and good. But to the people in our church, to the people in our community, we were monsters because we partaked in something that had the word hell in it. Now, when I had a realization a few years back, what ended up happening in my experience is that everything became neutral, and I could see that everything in this life was good, and everything that God created is good. There is absolutely nothing wrong with anything that's happening here. There's polarities, which are, you know, the positive, the negative, feminine, masculine. And if you don't know what that is, and maybe you want a little bit more clarity on that, I do have a playlist, and I believe it's titled Feminine and Masculine Energy. It goes into that. But basically everything here is inherently neutral, and it's good. It has no power over you. It can't do anything to you unless you allow it to, unless your beliefs allow you to do that. So if you believe that, let's say, Hell's Kitchen is somehow going to make you into some sort of demon, then that will play out for you. That's how powerful the mind and your beliefs are. So on this channel, I really try to clarify all of that, to really bring light to these shadows, because these shadows are only there to show you something. So when we're scared of things like this, we actually diminish ourselves. We become scared of life. We hide ourselves in our house. We demonize others. We divide ourselves. So fearfulness creates division, okay? So that's why with Halloween is a very innocent thing. Yes, maybe at one time it's a pagan holiday, and you know, maybe some people do rituals, do things like that, whatever. But inherently it's not going to do anything to you unless you allow it to. So I've never partook in any of these rituals, nothing like that. Halloween was simply like, you know, a holiday you celebrate like you do at primary school, right? You know, you dress up, you have fun, you go out, you get your candy, you know, you might do some crafts, you might carve a pumpkin. There's nothing about it that is inherently going to cause some sort of demonic influence to come upon you. So in all the years that I've been an adult, I've celebrated Halloween, and I've celebrated it with my family. It's actually caused not division, not separation, not, you know, some weird entity to come in, but it's caused us to come together. So in the past, Halloween is a time where we all dress up. I've always done family Halloween costumes in my family. So I can remember doing like circus performers. We were all different circus performers. We did like Peter Pan and Tinkerbell, and we did all the different characters. We did, you know, farmers. We did different things. And so this was always a time we'd come together, dress up together, you know, go see the grandparents. The grandparents would come visit us. We'd go trick-or-treating together. We'd go into the community and see, you know, knock on people's doors that we didn't normally knock on, you know, be kind and nice to each other. This was a time for us to do things like make good food at home. On my other channel, I shared a foot loaf that I make. That wasn't the only meal that I made. I usually made a meal every single day that had to do with that theme. So it was a fun, exciting time. And so these things don't have to divide you. They can unite you. They can make you, in a way, see life as fuller. But when you're fearful of it and you lock yourself in your house and you just get online and start demonizing everybody that is actually just having, you know, innocent fun, then you have now divided yourself. You have now separated yourself, and you've like clung on to something that, in my opinion, would be considered evil. But evil, good and evil are not really a thing. It's a neutral word. There's not good and bad. It's whatever you perceive it to be. So we could say what I'm seeing is like a storm or like a big wave come through. And let's say that for that big wave, that storm is just happening. That storm's doesn't have an intention of it being good or bad. A storm just happens, like nature happens. But for someone, let's say it's someone that has a house on the coast, and you know, maybe they have a little house there, and all of a sudden this storm comes through and there's a huge wave and it knocks their house out. Well, in that case, that person can perceive that wave as being evil or bad or whatever. But inherently, that storm, that wave was not evil or bad. It just is. It is whatever you want it to be for you and whatever it appears in your reality as. But inherently, nothing is good or bad other than the label you place on it. So they're just labels, and labels really are nothing. So this message is really just to kind of dispel any fears around good, bad, anything like that, because I just talked about like an energy update where we're going to really come to see deeper truths of things. And you're going to see the deeper truths of some of these religions. You're going to see the deeper truths of some of these things that, you know, kind of hide themselves as good, but they're not what you think they are. And it's not that they're bad, But because they're choosing to demonize or to separate themselves from so many things, it creates a perversion within their religion, within their beliefs, and that's not healthy. The healthiest way to be is to be balanced. So you can think of like the yin yang symbol. It has the white and the black. Now, this has been a universal symbol for a long time. Many people in other religions may not like me talking about this, but it literally is just symbolizing a balance in energies and the polarities of the positive, the negative, the feminine, the masculine, or whatever. It's a balance. And so the healthiest thing is to have a balance about things. You don't have to see things as white and black. They have actually a range. And in that range, everything is good, everything is beautiful, and God is in everything. And there is nothing to fear here. Everything is perfect, even when you think things aren't working out how you think they should. You know, we have an election coming up, or, you know, we have this thing coming up, and let's say it doesn't go the way that you thought. Don't worry. Everything is in control. There is nothing happening here that is completely out of control. Now, it feels like that, but sometimes being out of control brings order later. It brings things to light. It brings those things that were not in order to light so that we can clear them. So there's nothing to fear here. You don't have to fear Halloween. You don't have to fear demons. I made a video about demons, and this person was also upset about that. Now, demons, again, there's nothing that inherently a demon is more powerful than you, more powerful than the God of your religion or anything that you believe in. There is nothing more powerful about that. It's all neutral. And if you have the power within, you know that, and you can see that, you can sense that. But if you're lost in division, if you're lost in fearfulness, you won't see that. You'll see it as a threat, and so you'll attack it in some way. But there's nothing to attack here. Just like the video I made about bullies, you can literally just be silent about it and it goes away. It's not anything that you really need to put a ton of energy into. So these are the things that I kind of wanted to talk about today. I wasn't really going to make a video, but it just seemed kind of like a funny thing that happened, and it's something that like I've been seeing over time. Like I say, I saw it in my church, and I didn't understand why we were being treated so badly in a place that teaches acceptance, teaches love, teaches, you know, God. And in that place, we were treated in the worst ways. We were demonized for literally just living life and having fun together as a married couple, not doing anything, you know, so-called bad. But in the eyes of some people, lots of things are bad, and they don't have to be. So this message is really to clear that up for you, to kind of let you see a different perspective of things. See that things are not good or bad. They are whatever you want them to be. And depending on the perspective that you hold and those things that you're trying to protect, like that storm or that wave, it really changes your perception of things. You know, it depends on what you're protecting in your mind. What beliefs do you have? Now, when you shed all beliefs, when you shed most of these things, you start to see that life is just happening. It's not happening against you or to hurt you or, you know, to ruin your life, and these people aren't coming after you. No one's coming after you. It's all in your mind. That's all that's happening here. And when you shed all those beliefs, you can see that, and you'll discover throughout the whole process that you have an inner strength within. And that is the only thing that you have to abide in. Spirit is already here within you. There is nothing outside of you that's going to protect you. You don't have to fight any battles. They've already been won. There's nothing but just living your life and being your authentic self. And in that, you cannot go wrong. So I hope that this message found you well. If it resonated with you, give me a thumbs up, a heart, comment down below. If you're new here, thank you so much for being here. I hope that you'll subscribe. I hope that you'll come back. And to my returning subscribers, thank you so much for being here. I hope that you'll come back as well. I love you all.